Okay, this scooter has a very smart power supply, like I mentioned in the earlier video. If for some reason your pack is drained by its BMS below about 22 volts, the charger will refuse to charge it. If you're out of warranty, the dealer wants 32 bucks an hour, and if you think this battery pack is bad, they quoted me $580 for the battery pack and its BMS. Money up front, no guarantees. So, if you don't mind digging in yourself, first you need to carve the black RTV, electrical grade I assume, off of these two posts in the connection block. To get into your connection block, you have to remove the cover. It's a normal Phillips screw, and like I may have said, these are 5/16 hex, or in other words, a 5/16 nut driver will fit them even if they're truly metric. Right now, as from the earlier video, I'm not fully charged. I'm showing 68.4 volts on the digital voltmeter, DC of course, and it's got a negative in front of it because the positive is the one with the fuse in it over here. So I reverse that, do it again, and I get 68.3 without a negative in front of it. Now, since I couldn't get the charger to work because the BMS drained the pack, I disconnected. Well, first of course, as always, you split the pack by pulling this 30 amp fuse. I'm not real wild about a plastic fuse being used at 70 volts, but I didn't design the darn thing. So if you can pull that till you get these connections off, then you've isolated your battery that's going to be tested and charged remedially from the rest of the system, so you don't do any other damage to the controller or anything else. Now, I didn't have a lab grade power supply to bring this thing back to life, so I went into my junk drawer and I got a HP printer power supply that puts out 32 volts, and I believe it says up to 940 milliamps at 32 volts. So when this was hooked to these battery leads, it would fault the power supply, so you have to unplug it and replug it in, and then your meter will show that you have 32 volts of potential applied to the battery. And it took me I would estimate it took about 20 hours to get this battery up to 23 volts. Now at 21 volts, the charger pulled in and went red briefly, and then went back to green. So whatever it was checking for, the condition turned false to allow a charge. But at 23 volts the next day, the charger pulled in and started working the way the earlier video showed, to where it actually charged over the next 10 hours. The charger says that the factory OEM charger says it's rated for 71.4 volts. After my first full charge on this battery pack in the morning, I showed 71.6 volts. And I've been commuting to my workplace with this scooter ever since. Everybody in the neighborhood, I think, has had a ride on it and really loves it. So that's the name of that tune.